Hello, and welcome back to the Mildly Uncomfortable podcast. This is a podcast in which two friends sit down to explore different controversial subjects each episode. I'm your host, Brandon Zoist, and alongside me is my co host, Justin Coleman.
Hello.
Today, we have our first guest, and his name is Gavin Hess.
It's your boy, G Money. How's she going?
So, Gavin, just introduce yourself a little bit and tell us about what you're doing.
All right. My name's Gavin, and I've known Brandon and Justin for a couple years now, and I heard they were starting a podcast, and whenever my friends or just anyone's doing something, I like to support them, like show them love. So they asked me if I wanted to come on the podcast, and I was down, so I'm excited to be on here, and I can't wait to see what's going on.
So, our subject today is death. It's not that controversial, but it's a big subject that not a lot of people wish to talk about or even like to talk about in general. So I think it's a good subject to just touch base on. We have a few questions that we want to start out with and talk about, and then we're gonna get a little bit more into Gavin because he's been in most like near-death experiences, really.
Yeah, so I'll just start off with a few questions. I made a list of questions. We'll start off with the most basic one. Are you afraid to die?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm terrified. It is my biggest fear.
Why?
Part of it is because I don't have a religion, so when I think of death, I just think of it being the end in the terms of like me not existing, like no part of me is existing. I don't know. It just seems kind of crazy that I can just be here thinking, and then like in the next moment, I'm just not even a person anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
And that scares me. Also, whenever I do die, like I'm terrified of the lead up to it. You know what I mean?
Well, what if there is no lead up? What if you just fucking die?
That's the ideal situation. I would love
What?
that. Just
Why?
me to. Literally, if I die tragically and quickly, that would be okay with me. As long as it was
Holy
quickly.
shit.
I don't want to like have cancer and know that I'm gonna die.
That's true. Well, that's extreme. Like, that's one of the worst.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm fucking terrified as well. I am a Christian, but even with, believing to go to heaven and everything after you die, I'm still terrified. Like, I still want to live a life and be here, Even if I have the afterlife,
Yeah.
What about you, Gavin?
Yeah, I don't want to die yet. So, I also am afraid. Well, I don't know if I would say I'm afraid to die. I just don't want to go. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know if I would like to know that my days are limited either. I don't know if I'd want it to be like tragic or anything, but I wouldn't like to go if I know my days are limited and I'm going soon.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because it's so weird. If you had to pick, this is a good question. If you had to pick, well, we kind of already answered it, but would you rather have your days numbered or just fucking die, like out of nowhere?
For me, like I already said, I would rather just die out of nowhere. Like I don't want a doctor to tell me, "Oh, you have 6 months." Like that sounds fucking terrifying.
I guess if like a doctor told me I had 6 months and I just tried to do everything I could in my life and I died within the 6 months, like without like the condition or whatever, like I like was like rock climbing and I fell off and died, I guess I'd be all right with that. But like I wouldn't want like the 6 month to come around and I'm just like, oh no, like
I don't know, because like with 6 months or so, I just feel like I would do everything that I never was able to do. Like you were saying, like I don't know, because that's a very hard one with that question, because it's either you just die right now doing fucking nothing or doing whatever you're doing at the time, or it's you just live out what you wanted to do and you don't even have to worry about anything because you're fucking, well, you have to worry about dying, but you don't have to worry about like, jobs or whatever or any extra shit because you're gonna die in 6 months. Like, you don't need that shit.
Yeah, I'm sure there is some clarity to that, just like accepting the fact that you're going to die and just knowing a set date for it. But I know me, and I know I would just be fucking miserable the whole time, just leading up.
Yeah, another thing would be like, you don't know that your days are numbered. Say you literally just worked like 2 full ass weeks of work, and then like your first day off, like you just fucking die. Like you just worked for so long and made all that money, and then you just fucking died. Like that would be fucking awful.
You literally worked yourself to death.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, okay. On the opposite side of that, then, if you could live forever, would you?
Do I get to choose when I go, or I'm just stuck?
No, you live forever, like until the world ends or whatever. Like you are here for generations on generations on
To the
generations.
sun swallows the universe.
Yes.
That sounds like it'd be interesting, but I don't know. That kind of sounds like it could be terrible because every person that you meet, you know you're going to outlive them every time.
That's literally why I do not want to do it.
Yeah, like every friend you make, it would almost be temporary, but it'd be like quote unquote lifetime temporary.
Mm-hmm. Also, with like shit like movies, when people live forever, they always have like you live forever from the point or from the age and the looks you have now. That's not true. Like that's a fucking movie thing. In general, if you were to live forever, you'd be old as a motherfucker, and you would keep aging after that, and like you would,
I don't. Well, this is like that's like a fake thing. So
I don't know.
think
I mean,
those rules
maybe
would apply.
hey, maybe it's possible.
Maybe.
We just never met anybody like that that's able to do it for us.
Or you don't even get old until like the universe is closing to end. Like one year for a person would be like 400 years for you or something.
That would be fucking weird.
Yeah. For me, I would definitely just choose to live forever. Like, I mean, it's sad watching the people you died, but like, you're going to have to watch family members die anyway. Your parents specifically, hopefully. For me, it's like, it's better than not. You know what I mean? Like, you can die early and your parents can outlive you, but that's not really any better. Yeah.
I just like, why would you want? Why exactly? Like, besides just what? Why?
Because I don't want to die. That's literally the main thing.
You're that afraid of death that you would live
I told you, it's
forever?
my number one fear. I do not want to die. I know I have to, and I know I'm going to be scared as shit, but like, I wish I didn't have to.
But you really would want to live forever, and every single person you ever come in contact with will die plenty of years before you do. Or you won't, so plenty of years, and you have to mourn every single person. All of us, all of your family, and all the fucking friends and family you meet, even when you're way older, that you live through as well.
Yeah, no. It's still better than the alternative for me.
Really?
Yeah. It'd also be cool because I'd get to see the future and shit. I'd at least just get to see how the world changed.
That's just crazy to me.
But I feel like climate change don't get my ass anyway.
Climate change is gonna fucking get all of us.
Yeah.
That's another subject, and we touch on that in another episode.
Well, we can do, what's your ideal way to go out and at what age?
That's a fucking hard hitter.
That is very hard.
I've said this before. 60's always been a good number for me. Because it's usually by this age, you can still do things yourself. So you're still like in a relatively healthy state where you don't need assistance. And it's like right before you get like fucking old looking for my family. Like I don't know about other people. I have good genes, so we age a little better. But yeah, I just don't want to get old and feeble. Like I don't want anybody to have to do anything for me.
Well, my grandpa is right around 80, like late 80s or early 80s, late 70s, and he's fucking good. Like he still looks good. He still is kicking it, Like he does everything for himself by himself. Like he's good, dude.
That's great.
So for me, I feel like it's either I would want to live till 80, like 80, 90, or I would want to be the oldest person alive and set that record. That's mine.
That's almost exactly how I feel too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like 80 to 90, and if I'm already up there, I would want to live like longer than anybody.
Fuck yeah. Literally, you get your name in the history books as the oldest motherfucker on the planet. On this planet.
For real.
That's why I wouldn't want to die earlier. Because like if I had to die at a certain age and like not set a record, it would be 80 to 90. So like 85, I guess. And then yeah, if it's not 85, I would 110% want to live and be the oldest fucker ever. And then just fucking die. I'd be like, I'll set the record, and then I'll fucking die. Like right then and there. As soon as I see my name and my face inside of that history book, I'll fucking just keel over.
Well, then how would you want to die?
Ooh. As in when I'm like 85?
Yeah.
Honestly, just peacefully. Like, I don't feel like there's anything somebody should say. I feel like I would rather just go peacefully. I feel like everybody would, right? Where you're just like sleeping and you just die.
That's what I was thinking too. Was sleeping.
I feel like that would be the most like the easiest to do.
Yeah. It's definitely the most ideal to like die without knowing you're about to die, which is how I want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Rather that be like in my sleep or like something fast that happens, like
You just shot in the fucking head.
yeah.
You want that to happen when you're 60? That's fucking
not
crazy. Justin just shrugged his shoulders at that idea. That is fucking ridiculous. That's even considered in your head.
That's always been like a thing. I was like, bro, what if I just ended at 60? Like I just live a good life until 60 and I just like
But
peace
being
out.
shot? You want to be shot in the head and that's it? That's how you go?
Bro,
That's what you would rather have over like living a few more years? Or like 10 more years?
or like I feel like maybe 60 is like a good age for me. If I live longer, then I'll live longer. Like maybe longer or whatever. I feel like if it ever got to the point where, like we said, like a doctor was like, "Oh, you have this fucking terminal illness," I would probably just hire somebody to like end it. Like I'd hire like a hitman and be like, "Don't tell me when you're going to kill me. Just kill me within the like it can be any time between today and this following year."
There's a movie about that.
Really?
That exact thing, yeah.
What
Is it really?
He hires a hitman, and like within 2 weeks, he doesn't know when it's gonna happen. He gets to choose how, or he can make it random, and it's a pretty good movie. I forgot the name of it though, unfortunately.
Dang, Justin, you just watched that movie and then you stole their idea, huh? You
But,
stole their
I mean,
idea for your real life.
That's a good idea. I mean,
Oh my god.
more than likely, I might implement it like something. If sickness really does try to take my little ass, I'm taking my little ass first.
This next question sucks. I hate this question. I don't even want to talk about this question, but it's a good question. It just is like fuck. So, have you thought about what you would do in an incident of a close family member or loved one's death? And then obviously you have to attend their funeral because, you know, they're close to you. And I hate this question just because it's so sad and I don't want to come to terms with anything like that. But if that shit were to happen, like say it happens now, God forbid, but if it does, I really don't fucking know. I think I would literally drop everything and stop life for a minute, you know? I wouldn't want to die myself, but I couldn't deal with other people or other things in general at all. Like I would have to go to a safe place inside of my own head and just focus on myself and, you know, mourn. And it would take a while, I feel like, for anybody who's not even that close to your parents, but just have a somewhat good relationship.
Yeah, you just gotta put your life on pause and
Yeah.
collect yourself.
I've actually thought about this a lot, which is why it was one of the questions. It's one of the reasons why I'm really thankful that I'm the oldest out of all of my siblings, because ideally I won't have to watch any of them go. I'll obviously have to, more than likely, well, we don't know, obviously, but more than likely I'll have to watch my mom die whenever that happens, or at least bury her. Which, I mean, you can't really escape unless you escape life. That's not really good.
The thing that I always think about when I think about this question, or just like about parents or siblings or anybody close to you dying, I always think about the movie Click with Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
When it's raining and he's dying and his daughter and his son are there, and whenever his son goes up to him, I literally fucking bawl my eyes out. That movie's not a good movie, but the ending, or it's like close to the ending, I fucking bawl my eyes out because it's just like his father dying, and he's just standing or sitting there with him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like I cannot imagine that shit for the life of me, and I don't want to. I don't, and I'm also the younger sibling, so like, you know, that's terrible as well. I have 3 close family members that are obviously all older than me, and that's gonna be shit.
Yeah, more than likely you'll outlive them.
Yeah, that's yeah. And then plus, on top of that, with close friends, anything could happen. I mean, to anybody, but even like close friends, for example, you you could outlive each other, whatever, but something could happen when you're 30. Like something
Yeah.
could happen to your friend when they're 30, and it would be like, what the fuck? So you would have to deal with that, and then for us, because we're all 20 to 22 ish, it would be like our parents aren't gone yet from old age or whatever, but then so first we have to mourn one of our best friends, and then a few years, 10 years later, there goes our parents, and
Yeah.
it's like it's fucking crazy.
What about like so like with my great grandmother, she passed from cancer, and it was like she had it like it was terminal, and we knew for like 3 years that it was terminal, and it was just a slow decline. So when she died, it wasn't really sad per se because we had all this time to like know she was about to die. Everybody knew she was dying, so it was like more like a, maybe this is cliche, but it was like a celebration of her life at the funeral, where it wasn't sad. It was just like,
That's nice. Like
yeah,
that's very nice actually. I like that a lot. My grandma had cancer, and I think I was just born or so, or like right around there. I can't remember, but she died before like I had any actual memory of her. And to this day, like even my grandpa too. This is on my mom's side. That's both of her parents. But to this day, like she'll have dreams about them, and like she'll wake up the next day and she'll just cry the entire day just because like they were so close. And that's exactly how I am. And and I'm just like my mom when it comes to that. Like I'll have a dream and then I'll think about it the whole day, and it's just like holy fuck. I can't even like when I see my mom do that, I'm so at a loss for words, because then I just start thinking in my own head like that shit's gonna happen to me, and it's like fuck, dude.
I think that must be the worst. Like watching when it's like something terminal like that, watching like the slow decline in health, and like you just realizing it's coming to an end. Because then you're actually just like watching a person slowly pass.
Bro, I'm about to cry. Bro, this is
God.
awful. This is all right. Let's get off of this subject or this question.
Well, I did want to say one more thing.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just about Barkley, my dog,
Oh yeah.
who recently died. It was sad. Barkley was a like wild dog, so he'd like to run away every chance he got. He would run away for like 30 minutes and then come back on the porch and wait for somebody to let him in. But he ran away twice that day, and the second time he had ran into the street and he got ran over by this pretty large truck. Hit him so hard his whole ass harness popped off. Just like wobbled up on the porch, and I just laid with him until he passed. So it was pretty sad. It's the first time I'd like watched anything with so much life like slowly pass in front of me, and I'm hopefully that I won't have to do that again. But like,
Animals are crazy. Like it's so fucked when they die.
yeah,
Yeah. Cosmo and Gizmo are both getting old, and it's not looking good. But like, while they're still here,
Yeah,
I cherish all the time you have.
right.
I'm not looking forward to those days.
I know that's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Even Kubo, my sister's dog, like he's not even close. He's like 2 or something, 3 in December, but like it's just fucking sad. Like I can't even in my rabbit too, Raleigh, like he's 5 in December or something, and I just cannot think of anything without them.
yeah,
It's sad.
yeah. It's like they literally leave an impression. Like It was like the whole week I would just like find his toys and shit around the house, and then I had to pick his food bowl up off the kitchen floor because there wasn't really a point for it being there anymore. So
That
like,
is the saddest.
I think of that when it comes to like what happens when my mom passes. Like, what if I finally feel better about it and I just find something of hers around the house or
Right.
something?
Yeah.
Or like even when I had to like dig a hole for Barkley, that shit was sad. And I think about how sad it must be to like manage funeral arrangements for somebody who just passed.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be able to dig the hole. Like, I'd literally be midway through digging the hole, and then my eyes would just get teary, and then I'd just sit down and stop for like 2 hours.
All
And I'd
downhill
just
from
fucking
there.
cry, dude.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Cosmo. His birthday's tomorrow. On
It's
Sunday.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
He's about to be
Yes.
14.
Oh my god,
14?
he's 14.
Yes. The OG
Holy
Cosmo.
shit.
I didn't know he was that old.
Yeah.
So when did you guys get him?
14 years ago.
Obviously, how old were you?
Sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know dogs lived that long. I thought it was like a little bit over 10 years.
Yeah, he's been going dumb.
It depends on the breed, too.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's get into the juiciest question, which is, what is your closest experience with death? And then we'll let Gavin go last, because the rest of this episode will be focused on Gavin with this question. Well, okay, so as of last year, and I think this is like, because it's not like, it's hard to explain, but I couldn't die from it necessarily, but it's the closest that I've had to just, hospitalized, where it was scary as fuck, I have a cyst on my tailbone, and that was 2017? No, it was 2018 that it started to happen, and then what it does is it just flares up, and then it's basically, so cyst is like it's like a pimple, so, but it's way, way, like, bigger and worse. So I had to go and they had to pop it and then like fill it up and help it out, and I had to be bedridden forever. And to this day, it's been over a year. I need surgery for it because it's reoccurring. So if it ever comes back, I'm fucked because it had already been here once and it was gone. But because it's reoccurring, when it comes back for the second time or the third, or it's way fucking worse and it's way bigger. So I need surgery for it, and I haven't gotten it, and I don't know when I'm going to get it, but I'm also scared of that. That's like the close to death. I haven't done it yet, but if I have the surgery, there's, anything could go wrong. Like, literally, you're right on my tailbone, so if one little fuck up, you could hit my spine and actually fucking kill me. Like, and I'm fucking terrified of it. So I haven't had a, like, actual near-death experience ever, but just that's the closest that I would be, and that's why I don't want to fucking get the surgery, because I'm terrified they might fuck it up on the operating table.
I guess mine would be when I was growing up. Obviously, we touched on this last episode. I am gay, and growing up, that was not something I would ever say out loud or believe. I went through many years of just like being suicidal about it, and the one attempt I did make was like when I found out that I was really scared to die. I tried to, more or less, tried to hang myself, kind of, and when everything was turning white and I could kind of taste metal in the back of my neck, I just got so scared that I like pulled it off.
How old were you?
This was like middle school.
Oh shit! So like 12 to 14.
Yeah,
basically.
that age range. But like, I mean, I guess I guess it's like a thankful thing that I'm so scared of death, because if I wasn't, I probably would not be here. And that's probably, I guess, the closest experience I've had with it.
I don't even think I knew that.
I don't think I knew that either.
Well, no, I don't tell anybody that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you telling us.
No problem.
Oh boy.
Gavin's got a.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I guess I'd be the closest to near death because of how many times I've had to get fucking surgery. So I'm just gonna try to start it from the beginning to the best of my ability with like remembering everything. So when I was real young, we went up north with my family, and when we came back home, every night I would wake up and like there'd be like some yellow shit like on my pillow, like from my ear leaking, and I didn't know, I thought it was an ear infection or whatever, and like I wasn't in pain, and so that went on for a couple days where my ear was just like leaking, and it was like during school too, it was leaking. I'd have to go in the bathroom and like clean it. We went to the doctors and they said I ruptured my right eardrum and that I should be in like excruciating pain, but like I have really high pain tolerance. So they were just wondering how I was even like standing, like I wasn't dizzy or anything, because like basically my eardrum was like exploded, and I don't even know how it happened. I guess it happened during like the up north camping thing. I don't know when though. And so we were talking to ear specialists and ear doctors, and they're like, all right, we're gonna get this repaired as soon as possible. So I had to, like, before you get surgery, I had to go and get like this physical done or whatever to make sure like you're healthy and able to go to surgery. And when we went to go get it checked for my ear, and they ended up finding a small hole in my heart. And they were like, all right, before we do anything with your ear, we're gonna plug this hole up in your heart because that's definitely not good.
Yeah.
So had to cancel the ear surgery in about like maybe a week or two from that day.
When was this? Like 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, I had the surgery done in 2012, but so they were like, all right, we're gonna repair it, and what they were gonna do, it was gonna be barely even noticeable. They were gonna put this tiny, like, because the hole in the heart is obviously millimeters. It's not like a bullet hole.
Yeah.
So they, from the 2 weeks from there, like, all right, let's do it. They were gonna put like a small plug in the hole, like up through, like they were gonna go up through my thigh in this tiny like wire thing and plug it. But from those 2 weeks, it was already bigger than what it was. So they decided they had to do open heart surgery, and that's what I got done in 2012. So, you know, they had to like literally cut me open completely, and they had to plug it that way. That was terrible. That whole summer, I couldn't do anything. I was just in pain.
So the hole was growing?
Yeah. The whole, like, literally from when they first found out about it, and they're like, all right, we're just going to do a nice quick, like, we don't have to do open heart. It's going to be a quick surgery. The 2 weeks later after that, it was already growing, and the hole was too big for the original plug.
And that was a health hazard, obviously.
Yeah. So then they had to do open heart surgery, and we got it plugged up. Then after that, I got my ear surgery done, finally. But the ear surgery didn't fix the hearing all the way. Yeah, I repaired my eardrum, and then I was fine for like a couple years. And then my right lung collapsed, and I had no idea. I just had a pain at the top of my shoulder constantly, and like I was going through school. I went for a week before going to the hospital. I don't even know why I waited that long.
Was this the concert?
Yeah.
That was the first one. Yeah, it was me, Gavin, and a few of our other friends. We went to a Riff Raff concert, and Gavin, like, if you look at pictures, he looks fine. Like,
Yeah.
nothing, you don't look like you have a collapsed fucking lung.
Mhm.
But, like, when, I don't even know, because it's, you, even being there with you in person, you didn't look like you were in pain or feel anything. You were just like, cool, this concert's fucking awesome, you know? Like, it's fucking crazy that was going on, or that it literally was collapsed while we were, like, jumping and fucking singing along with shit.
Mhm.
And that was 2000, what was it, 13? No, 15.
I think, yeah, 15.
15. Right around there, probably.
Yeah, that's when the high pain tolerance kind of fucks you over, because like I didn't, like, the Riff Raff concert was the 7th day that it was collapsed, and at that point it was fully deflated to where I basically had one working lung. And I remember my mom, when we came home from the concert at like 1 in the morning, she was like, all right, we're going to the doctors tomorrow because my shoulder was bothering me like that whole week or whatever. And I even told her, I was like, honestly, at the concert, I felt fine. I don't think we needed to go because I really just didn't want to go back to a hospital and do all that again. And we got to the hospital, got to the emergency room. They're probably just like, all right, this kid doesn't really know what he's talking about. They they put all the stuff on me, the IV, the finger thing, and they literally had to give me surgery, like, basically in the ER, like the emergency room. They wheeled me into, like, this little back room, and they had to, like, stick this thing, like, this really long, like, needle, and it went straight through everything, straight to my lung, and it, like, popped it up a little bit like a balloon. And so they needed it to be kind of inflated to even start the real surgery. So right off the bat, with no pain meds or anything even, they just had to stick it straight through everything and inflate it slightly. Then that's when they wheeled me to the actual operating room. They knocked me out. I woke up. I was in the hospital for weeks having to deal with that. That's always awful. Everything's terrible in the hospital. Everything irritates you. After that whole thing, I was, like, obviously nervous. Anytime I got a small pain anywhere, I was like, dude, it's happening again. And they told me that once your lung collapses once, it's bound to happen again. Like, every time it happens, it's a bigger chance of happening it over and over and over again. And 6 months later, that's the keystone. They tell you if your lung collapses, and if it doesn't collapse after 6 to 7 months, you should be good. It collapsed during the 6th month. So
It was the same one, right?
yeah, same one, the right one. It collapsed again, and then had to go through all the same shit again at the same hospital and everything. Or actually, I think it was the first or second, the second time, first time, one of them, I went to a different hospital than I usually go to.
Oh, yeah.
And the tube that they had, there's supposed to be a tube that's inside of your lungs, and it's hooked up to a small machine. The tube that they had inside my lung wasn't fully sealed, so it was like 4 days that I had it in, it was just leaking. So the whole 4 days with the tube in me, I didn't do anything, and then the IV in my arm wasn't in my vein, so my arm ballooned up and was all bruised. After that, I got an ambulance ride to a different hospital, and that's when it actually got fixed and everything, and I still had to spend weeks there anyways.
So that was all, like, problems with the staffing, like, kind of fucking you over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hospital fucking sucked.
Yeah. That was a fat setback.
They fucked you even harder because of that. Like, it hurt you, obviously.
Mhm.
It hurt you more than you were already fucking hurting on the inside.
Yeah, I didn't sleep for, like, any of the days that I was there because there was a tube inside of me, like, resting on, like, my lungs, because it's supposed to be secured in to where, like, when you're on pain meds, you don't feel it, but it was resting, like, on my lung, and it was resting on, like, the muscles lining around your lung, so I was in constant pain no matter what they gave me. So then I got the ambulance ride to the other hospital. That was fucking scary. I've never had an ambulance ride before that. That was terrifying. But then they fixed me up there, and they did a surgery to where after they inflate the lung all the way, they scrape the top part of where your lungs, like, are, and my lungs stuck, like, to, like, glue basically, and then scar tissue starts to develop. So, like, it's supposed to not fall again. I mean, obviously anything can happen, but, like, naturally it shouldn't collapse on its own again. And they're like, well, once your right lung does it, your left lung is optimal to do it again, or do it. So I got a surgery on my left lung, like, a couple weeks or a month later, and they're like, all right, you should be good with your left lung, no worries. 2 weeks later, my left lung collapsed. That surgery didn't work. And I'm in the hospital again for, like, weeks, or almost a month almost, because what they do is they put this tube in your lung. It's supposed to keep it inflated. As it's inflating, after it looks good, they take the tube out for 24 hours, and it started to fall, and they had to put another surgery basically. Every time they put a tube in, you got to go back to the operating table, get knocked out.
And that tube is fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, that tube is fucking big, and it's going through you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they just have to, like, pull it out of you?
Yeah, they don't put you to sleep for that either.
They literally
You feel it.
pull it.
What it is like how your lungs are, like, the shape of it. It's the big tube that goes into your side, and then it thins out and it wraps around your lung, like it outlines your lung inside of it. So when they pull it out, it takes about 2 seconds, but you feel it go all the way around, and it literally feels like you feel it on the inside get pulled out, and then afterwards it just feels like someone lit your like body on that side on fire, and it does not go away for like 15 minutes. Once it goes away, you almost like, it still feels like it hurts. Like you can just feel it, and it like they put a patch over it right away. It's like a band. Like they literally pull it out and just slap a patch on real quick, and like you can just start to kind of feel the blood.
Would it gush? Like the blood, does it gush out, or is it just like you can feel it draining?
You can just like feel it draining.
Oh, okay.
It just starts to get warm, and then it feels wet, and it's like, it's fucked. And taking that off is honestly almost as bad as when they have to fucking pull it out, because they use so much tape everywhere.
Oh.
Taking it off is almost just as bad. So like when they do that, they put the tube in, take it out, and then have to put another one in, and like take the patches off, put another one in, and pull it out again. It's like, that happens so many times to me. Like I got so many scars on both sides. It literally just looks like I got fucking lit up. Like I got stuck in a crossfire. And
That's so fucked.
so yeah, and then the left one was like taking so long to just fucking stay up. And then they eventually were like, all right, we're just going to do the same surgery we did to your right side, where we scar up the top and it gets stuck. Thank God, and nothing has happened since.
How long has it been? 2 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years, and
Okay.
they both are holding up. And then for my heart too, back to that, fucking, I get it checked up every 6 months, and you know they check up on the lungs as well. The lungs are doing good. The only bad thing now is that my aorta, the biggest muscle or vein or whatever, I forgot, I think it's a muscle, the biggest thing in your heart, the aorta, slowly has been growing ever since the open heart surgery. And they think because like it got plugged up, you know, like the pressure makes it increase, and that's not supposed to grow. Your aorta is not good, because if it gets to a certain extent, it might just like split or burst, and then if it does that, you're basically like dead. Like,
How do you control it? Is there any way to help
there's
it?
nothing I can do. They said the only thing I can do is to limit myself for anything that would increase my blood pressure. They said if I like run or swim and stuff, that's actually good for it because it conditions it. But like that's why I had to stop working out and stuff, because like if I work out, I have to do really lightweight, a shit ton of reps. I can't lift heavy things.
Yeah.
Even like I kind of work at a warehouse. Like I'm really technically not supposed to be doing that. So like I don't know what. Since I'm still young, I'm like gonna try to get away from more physical labor. I don't know what I'm going to have to do, but I need to like stay away from physical stuff.
Doesn't physical stuff affect your lungs as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like breathing.
Well,
like
anybody it affects, but like for you, it's even tenfold. You know.
Mm-hmm. Like anytime I have to lift something, I got to really like concentrate. Like if it's something, even like 50 pounds, like, you know, I got to make sure I got to take a deep breath, you know, breathe out when I'm supposed to, like, everything. Like I can't just throw heavy shit around if I need to go fast. Like I even tell my supervisors at work, like I understand like sometimes we got to go fast, but like I'm not gonna literally kill myself doing this. Like it's not even worth it. Or having to go back to the hospital for moving a heavy box to try to get out of work faster. Like no, fuck that.
Yeah. If you think you're in danger by any means, like you fuck that. You don't even do the work. Like
the job's not worth your health.
It's not worth it whatsoever. Because like even if you went back to the hospital, not even you specifically, but even some people, the job. Because I don't know about your job specifically, but the job, if you went back to the hospital, they could just fire you. Because they're like, oh, you're not working for us. Yeah, you're trying to get better, and you did it on our fucking clock. Like, fuck you. You're not coming back because you're not helping us anymore. Like some places are that fucking evil when they're the one who caused it in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they get scared that a lawsuit might happen.
That's true.
So they try to just sweep it all under the rug and get you fired or something.
Yeah.
Or they'll do the opposite and try to work with you, and then after it's done and said, then they'll fire you for no reason, but it's because of that. Which that's never happened to me, but like
that's a big thing that could happen. Yeah. You touched on it a little bit, but I want you to really go, like, how were you feeling when it first happened with your lung? Like, what was the actual thought when you were told your lung has collapsed? Like, what even went through your fucking head?
At the time, like, the only way I could describe it is the thing that I kind of knew that there was something wrong is I couldn't even really bend over. Like, if I were to bend over, I would it feels like you got the wind knocked out of you. And I knew something was wrong, but like I was kind of nervous, and I didn't want to have to do it at the hospital and stuff. But like with stuff like that, you have to.
Yeah.
But like, it felt like my heart was like in my throat. Like I could feel my whole like chest move with my heartbeat, and I could feel it in my throat, and like the whole chest, neck, all that area. I could feel my heartbeat almost all the time, and it was as simple as I would walk up my stairs to go to my room, and I would almost feel like dizzy and just like I feel like I just ran for hours. Like I would just be completely gassed. And at the time I didn't have because I wear my Apple Watch now, but at the time I didn't have my Apple Watch. I didn't know what my heart rate was at. And ever since I got my Apple Watch, that's how I found my lung collapses recently, because I'll check my heart rate and it won't go lower than like 100 and something. So,
dude, you're like fucking Bruce Banner with the gamma rays trying to fucking see you that you don't go over and turn into the Hulk.
Yeah,
you
bro.
check your blood or your heart rate.
Yeah.
You check your heart rate and try to not go over and die.
Yeah. Fucking shout out to my Apple Watch for looking out for me, always keeping my heart rate shown.
Shout out for not keeping me or for keeping me alive.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, those are awful times. And that's stuff like that I pray like every day that I don't have to do it again. But I'm probably going to have to get another heart surgery soon. Maybe not soon, but because like the aorta, every 6 months that I've went, it's grown every single time. And when it hits a certain number, like there's a certain number where it's like dangerous. Obviously, they're going to do surgery before it even gets close to that number.
What do you mean? What do you mean by number? Like, what is it?
Like millimeters, like of how
like size.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
how wide it's getting.
Okay.
And there's like a danger number, and they said I'm getting close to the number where they do surgery, not the danger number.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So they would have to literally open your entire self up again.
Maybe. I don't know how this surgery works. I know that's since your aorta is like like a tube shape, they put a thing over it to constrict it from growing, so like it won't continue to grow, and like obviously it's not going to shrink, but like it makes it stay the same size. And I like there's sometimes where like just randomly I'll get like a pain. It'll only last for a couple seconds, but I almost swear I feel like that's like it growing. Like I feel like I can feel it sometimes almost. It's like an indescribable feeling, but like you like try to imagine like your heart, like your chest, and you picture the aorta just widening just a little bit. Like you'd be able to like you kind of would be able to know like you'd feel it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have felt that a couple times, and it's not even like when I'm it's not even like when I'm working out or when I'm at work. I'll just be chilling, and it'll just like start to hurt, and I'm like, oh, and like I just sit there for a couple seconds, and I'm like, ah, oh, and I like rub my chest, and it just goes away, and I'm like, dude, like fuck.
That's like heartburn, but
Yeah.
inside, or like even further inside.
Yeah, like whenever I get heartburn, that makes me super nervous, because like I usually know when I have heartburn, because like I know from like when I ate, but I'll still be like, dude, fuck, like I'm the last person that needs to be feeling any type of heartburn.
Yeah. That seems the scariest. Like, because obviously you've already gone through the whole fucking hospital shit, and you know how it feels when other stuff happens. But like the heartburn seems like it would be the scariest, because you'd be like, why?
Yeah, I remember at the job that you mentioned in the first podcast. I remember being there, and I remember feeling my lung collapse for the second time. I physically felt it collapse in on itself, and that's how I knew it happened that time.
Oh, you're talking about the job that we both had.
Yeah.
The one that I talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. That was there?
Yeah, I had to leave early. I remember it was a late night, we were like, it was chilling that night. Like we were just doing like some envelope shit, and like we're like, we only got to do this for 4 more hours. We're getting paid for this. Like this is fucking great. And then all of a sudden, I just feel my right side. It just like, it's like when you watch like a demolition video for like a building, how it just like kind of falls like that. It obviously not that fast, but it literally, that's how it feels. And like, it's almost like you could hear it I could almost hear it like within myself, like when your stomach growls, how you could feel like your body vibrate, and you hear your stomach, like it sounded like a falling noise, and I just felt it, and I was like, guys, I think my lung just collapsed, and I remember at the time Michael was on the other side of the table and he's like, dude, your side hurts right now too. He goes, dude, I swear my side just started hurting. And I'm like,
Fucking
no, but
course.
I was like, no, but like my internally. He was like pointing like the outside. I'm like, no, my shit hurts internally. So I worked for 10 more minutes and I called my mom and I called my dad and I'm like, what should I do? And I remember my uncle was in town and I didn't even get to see him yet because I was at work. And I came home and he's chilling on the couch and like obviously he knows because my parents are there. And the whole weekend that he was there, I didn't even get to see him or anything because from that night we had to go straight to the hospital, and it was like I caught it basically. It was like falling still on the way to the hospital.
I didn't even know that, or maybe I just didn't remember. But that's fucking ridiculous that it happened at work.
Yeah, I remember it. And like even now, like I'll maybe like get a pain in my shoulder or something, or even like where my lungs are, I'll get like a small pain. And like my breathing feels like it'll be off, and like I'll check my Apple Watch. Sometimes my heart rate will be up, and it's like a double-edged sword with it. Because when you check your heart rate, obviously you're already nervous; it's gonna go up, and it kind of like fucks with you a little bit. But they told me because one time I remember like a year or two ago, I thought it was falling again because my shoulder was really hurting me, and my heart rate was staying at 90. It wasn't going any lower than 90. My normal heart rate's 60 to 80. Like if I'm like sitting down.
90? It was at 90?
Yeah, it wasn't going any lower than 90. It was like 96, 91.
Holy
So like when I'm like sitting watching something, my heart rate's at like 60 something. When I'm walking around normal stuff, it's at 70. When I'm like walking all day at the mall or something, it'd be like around 80-ish. So like when it's at 90 and it doesn't go down, and I was sitting upstairs, I was like, I gotta go to the hospital.
Oh, you were just chilling.
Yeah, and it was
at 90.
yeah.
Holy fuck.
And I even went to the extent of going, all right, I'm going to replicate chilling. And it was at the time when I had my recline chair. I deadass reclined back and put on YouTube, and I watched a 15-minute video. And on the Apple Watch, it tells you like how long your heart rate has been there, and it wasn't getting lower. It ended up being nothing, but when we got there, they told us since I've gotten those surgeries, like it might just be my lung maybe trying to fall, but the surgery's like stopping it or something, or like something's going on to where my body is making my heart rate increase, and it ended up being nothing. And they were like, you gotta know when it actually collapses and when it doesn't. And I was like, all right, well, I know what it feels like when it collapses. Whenever I feel a pain, like, and I think it's serious, I don't even like to play with it. Like, I don't want to wait for it to collapse.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Like, do you remember? I remember a long time. It was when you got Uno, and I was playing For Honor. I remember this vividly. I was playing For Honor, and you guys were playing Uno. And I muted my mic. I wasn't talking.
On Xbox.
Yeah, and because I thought my shit was collapsing again. Because, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, it was starting to get harder to breathe. And I was, like, freaking myself out. And, like, we were in the Xbox party, and I'm like, I'm going to act normal. And, like, I would just, like, be talking normally. And then I would just be like, holy shit, dude. Like, I'm saying a sentence, and it feels like I can't even talk afterwards. I'd have to catch my breath every 5 seconds, it felt like. That ended up being nothing as well. I didn't even go to the hospital that night. My mom was just like calming me down, and she was just like, relax, like you'll be fine. Like as long as you're not in constant pain, you'll be all right. And I went back upstairs, put the headset back on, chilled, play Xbox, and like a couple hours later, that's when I told you guys. I was like, yeah, remember like an hour ago? Yeah, I couldn't fucking breathe.
Yeah, we had no idea. He was just like, I'll be back in a second. And then he came back and he was just like, yeah, I'm good. What do you guys want to play? And then he told us, and we were like, what, Gavin, what the fuck? Like, why didn't you fucking tell us?
Yeah.
It was fucking random as shit. Oh, also, with your ear. So your ear was the first thing, right?
Yeah,
in
but...
general.
Yeah, I didn't end up getting sick. Yeah.
What about now? Like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. I completely left that out. I just got surgery a couple months ago on my right ear, because it didn't rupture again. But the first surgery for my eardrum is they took out a bone. It's the bone that vibrates, that connects your eardrum so you can hear. They took that bone out and put a piece of titanium. And
what was it? You had, what, 40% or something hearing or something like that?
Yeah, it was at like 40, and now it's at like 60. I don't even really know what the numbers mean. I just heard the doctor saying.
Yeah.
And I assume... Yeah, it was at 60. And now it's at 40. I assume that's hearing loss. Like I had 60% hearing loss, and now I only have 40% after the newest surgery. Because the first surgery, they said it should be fine, like you're good now. And then over the years, the piece that they put in there slipped, and I didn't know because I don't even know if it was supposed to hurt me or not. But I just slowly realized, like, dude, I really can't hear. Like, there were times where someone would stay the night, and I'd have my left ear down on the pillow, and so like my right ear's up, and they would say something, and it would literally be like the cartoons where it was just going wah, 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 out of my right ear, and I couldn't hear a word.
Like fucking Charlie Brown.
Yeah, like I couldn't hear a word they were saying, and I would have to flip over to where my left ear was up, and that's when I knew, like, dude, that's fucked. Like, I shouldn't even have to be doing that, or put my headphones in. If I had both headphones in, I took the left one out, I almost couldn't even really hear the music. I could just hear everything outside of it. Like, the music was, like, very, very background. And then if I put my left one in and took the right one out, I could only hear the music and barely anything. So they ended up putting the piece back in the most recent surgery. And so it went from 60 to 40. And so, like, there's still hearing loss. They were saying it might be 40 because when I did my hearing test, it was only a couple weeks after, and they said the packing and everything on the inside is still going to be inflamed. So it might be, like, like restricting how much I can hear still. But I can still definitely tell there is hearing loss, 100%, but it's not as bad as it used to, because now I can, when I put my headphone in at work, I still can't, like, when someone calls out my name, or like I can have a conversation. Like, there's times where, like, I'll put my finger, like, in my left ear just to test or see what I can hear.
Yeah.
And it is way better than what it is, but it's still missing something. And I don't know what's going on with that, because he said, my doctor told me that I'm going to do another hearing test. I think it's actually this month. Sometimes this month I'm doing a hearing test. If it doesn't look good to him, like up to his standards, he said they're going to try to figure something else out, like another surgery or something. So I don't know what's going on with that. So the ear and then the heart, right back to fucking square one with those two problems. So,
what else could they possibly do?
Dude, I have no
I mean,
idea.
obviously your ear is very, like, intricate, but, like, I don't know. It feels like, or it seems like they did a bunch of shit to you, or, like, just the ear in general. What are they gonna do? Fucking take it out? Take your whole ear out?
Yeah, give me a fucking new one or something. I have no idea. They even told me my left one, the eardrum, they're saying the reason why my right eardrum ruptured is because, like, naturally, like, my genes, I have, like, a thin eardrum, like the wall, and they said my left one's looking thin too, and they said if, like, anything happens, like, it could do the same thing, like, I could just, it could rupture any day. And I was like, well, that's fucking cool. He's like, yeah, it could last 25 years, it could last 50 years, it could last a week, it could just rupture. I was like, sweet, awesome. So what are we going to do with that? And he's like, we're not going to do anything with that until something does happen. Hopefully nothing does happen. But
that feels like a risk, huh?
Yeah, I'm, like, sitting here like, cool, everything's just fucking falling apart over here. I'll be alright.
Your entire body's deteriorating. You just got fucking Thanos snapped.
Bro, that ass.
Holy fuck.
I know, it's crazy, because, like, all of this happened throughout school, too. And, like, no one knew. Because, like, when I was getting it done, like, I was, like, not embarrassed, but I didn't want to talk about it to anyone. I was, like, nervous. But, like, over the years, like, now that I'm, like, grown up, and, like, I'm, like, open, like, anytime someone ever talked to me about it, I would always just tell them all the details and everything.
Yeah.
Like, like, at work and everything, too.
How long was it? So you said the first one with your heart was 2012.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously it's 2019, so, like, 6 years then.
Yeah. Been in a constant block of struggle for 6 years.
Fuck.
And then in between that, like you were saying, you got the cyst on your tailbone. I had a cyst on my hip.
Oh, yeah. I fucking forgot about that. That was terrible.
That hasn't came back, but anytime I get even a small pimple by my hips, I fucking try to pop it. And if it doesn't pop, I get scared instantly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude.
I forgot all about that little fucker.
Yeah, that was awful, too.
Well, Gavin, I'm glad you're doing good now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you seem to be in much better health.
Yeah. You're not fucking in the hospital dying. Like, I've seen you plenty of times.
Yeah.
Those were fun. That was so sad, too. Because, like, I remember walking in one time when you're in the hospital and just looking at you. And, like, so Gavin is very, just in general, very fucking strong. Like, I don't know how this motherfucker does what he does. And I praise him for this, because if I was in the hospital, even for, like, a fucking broken toe, I'd be crying my eyes out because I'm in the fucking hospital. I walk in and Gavin's sitting on the bed just chilling, watching a TV show, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "What the fuck? How are you not like, how are you not sad right now? Like, obviously you're probably sad, but like
Yeah.
you just don't show that shit. You are so fucking strong. It's unreal. Like I'll give you all the props for that. Like you are the strongest motherfucker that I know because of everything that I know you've gone through."
Yeah, I try not to like let it anything. Like I try to be like really resilient with it, because like I'm like I like pray and everything. Like I know I'm like blessed with everything. It's like, because like if I really like when I do start to think about it, I do start to get sad. But like I never really am like depressed, and I just pray every day. Like like it could be like I know I've gone through a whole bunch of stuff. It always could be worse. Like anything could happen. It could always just be so much worse. So like I don't know. I just try not to let it get to me ever.
And you're one of the like main people that I know personally that has such a right to be depressed. Like obviously anybody can be depressed, like life gets to you, but like you have gone through so much shit that you have one of the highest rights to be like down in the dumps, and you never fucking are. Like it's crazy. It's so good for you to be like that, and I'm happy you're like that. Because otherwise, I don't know. Like it would be fucking sad, obviously, but
Yeah. It's almost sometimes better to just talk about it too. Like instead of keeping it all bottled up.
yeah.
Because like back when like only you guys knew about it, I felt like personally like I was holding on to something. Someone would be like, I don't know, they'd be like something heavy or some shit, and they'd be like, "Oh, why can't you just lift it or something?" And I would just be like, "Well, I don't want to get into that whole thing, but like whatever." Like it always felt like I was holding on to something. Now whenever I meet someone, I'm comfortable enough with you if I think like you're the type of person that like would like to hear it or like needs to hear it or something. Like
Yeah.
I'll tell you now. Before I wouldn't tell anybody.
That's good. And that comes
Yeah.
with age, too,
Mhm.
because obviously it's just more, like you said, not really nervous, but just like, I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah.
But now it's like, these people need to know, you know?
Yeah.
Like, mainly for a job or some shit. Fucking hey, well, Gavin Hess, thank you so much for being on this podcast and, like, explaining everything you've done, gone through. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
You want to, like, shout out a social media or something?
Follow me on Twitter. I don't even really post stuff. I just retweet fucking memes. I don't really post on any of my social media. I don't even. Guess
What is
follow
it?
me on Twitter. I think it's Hess5534 is my @. And
Is it?
then
We can put it in the
Let me check.
podcast description
Yeah, I'll
too.
put it in the description.
all right, yeah, just
but
put all my stuff in the
I think
description.
I think your Twitter is @boygav.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Well-
fucking boy. You fucking boy, Gavin. Going stupid.
Thank you so much for listening to Mildly Uncomfortable. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, of course. Of course. Follow us on Twitter. Follow Gavin on Twitter. Our Twitter is Mildly You Pod. So thank you so much, and goodbye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Wow.